The next day, we decided to man up and ask Mark what we lost points on so that we could be better prepared for the next time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he ripped our rod apart. I actually didn't mind hearing that our epoxy was wavy and not clean because it gave me something to work towards. We also learned during this time frame that we shouldn't have been gluing winding checks on either. The epoxy holds the winding check in place, but if the winding check is glued to the handle with epoxy in front of it, it will eventually crack over time. At some point during that day, Mark invited us to come build a rod over the weekend with him, and obviously the only answer to that invitation is yes. Fast forward, and we finally arrived in his hometown. A customer actually pulled in behind us at Mark's house, and we got to see how Mark interacts with his customers. He listened, educated, and gave samples of rods with similar qualities but different guide sets or weights. Made the guy play around with them and tell him what he liked or disliked. He measured the guy's hand and pulled out his nifty little handle tool he created. Basically, it measures hand size for 4 grips and can be pushed upwards or butted straight together so he can see how the grip fits in their hand. Then he can measure the grip to make sure the shape and contour is perfect for the individual. Just his interaction alone with the customer was completely different than ours, so I started taking notes. Mark has a way of teaching people by asking questions first, and then he waits for your answers and then educates afterwards. I asked about weaves and how he does his layering of the weaves on the tie-off of his decorative wraps. He immediately grabbed the book he wrote and handed it to us.